You're good to go.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. This will be an abbreviated gathering, I will call it, not an official meeting since we don't have a quorum. If that changes in the next few minutes, then we can certainly have the meeting called to order and proceed with the business. But if not, do have a few general updates to share. We also have our newest appointed board member. So I apologize for putting you on the spot, Terry, but I wonder if you would like to introduce yourself to the group since this is your first time joining us outside of the training that happened recently.
So, my name is Terry Thrubwell. I teach at the American Public University. I teach philosophy and religion, and I'm just obviously being an academic. I'm very passionate about books, and I think it's just really important that we keep this resource open to the public and make the public aware of what's available out there.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I have a few things. I'll just share my library director's report like I had planned. And I think the first thing I want to do is just acknowledge that we're at the 1 year mark. Oh, we might have somebody here.
Sorry, Jason, that's our transcription service.
Okay, false
Yes.
alarm.
So
Okay.
sorry. I should have warned you ahead of time. I saw the glimmer in your eye.
No worries. I did want to acknowledge that we're basically 1 year from the Helene mark, and it's impacted every one of our lives and the lives of all of our colleagues here in Buncombe County. And just take a second to think again and acknowledge the library staff who were called to so many different tasks and new jobs and all types of responsibilities across our county in the immediate recovery. And as we know, libraries continue to play a very important role in the ongoing recovery. There's so much work that's happening. I think it's important that our libraries continue to be seen as safe and welcoming and essential spaces for people to gather. I am currently responding to some questions from an academic librarian in Tennessee who is working on an article about how librarians responded and public libraries in particular responded to the storm. And working back through those questions has just really made me reflect on how grateful I am for our staff. So she's asked some questions like, how did your team manage their professional responsibilities with the need to take care of themselves personally? I don't know that I have the answer to that. I don't know that any of us have the answer to that, but I do know that they showed up and continue to do the good work, even when they were dealing with very, very challenging situations with themselves and their friends and their families. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of, I've said this before, but it really stands out in my mind, is before the storm even arrived, the county had put the call out to staff who were willing to sign up and work overnight shifts at the shelters. And I immediately had library staff who were putting their names on the spreadsheet to take a shift to work 12-hour shifts overnight at the shelters before they had any clue how they would be personally impacted by the storm. In some cases, I had staff members who were signing up for multiple days in a row. Like their first instinct was to be there to help. And that just speaks volumes about the mindset of our public service staff. And I'm so grateful and proud of that team. So just wanted to acknowledge that since this is a week that um, has been heavy on our minds. Also wanted to let you know that we had the kickoff of our budget season. Believe it or not, it feels like budget season never stops. But we had the kickoff of the fiscal year 27 budget season planning process. So that will be moving into full speed ahead over the coming months. We'll be submitting various requests, including our technology request as well as our new position request. We did not get any new positions this year because we're still so deep in Helene recovery and the budget impacts from that. But we will be asking for some new positions for next year. So keep my fingers crossed that we'll be in a spot that allows some expansion of our staff. Also, one really interesting highlight is the conclusion of the Fairview Library Oral History Project. This started back in 2018, and it was an effort to bring together our Fairview branch staff and our special collections team and community volunteers and the Friends of the Fairview Library to record and transcribe many, many hours of interviews, scan documents, archive, collect mementos to tell the history of Fairview and the Fairview Library. That collection is now available on the website of our special collections. So I can put that link in the chat for everybody. In addition, they gathered 4 hardback volumes of local oral histories. Those will be available to peruse in special collections and the Fairview Library as well. Back in August, the Board of Commissioners for Buncombe County officially approved a request to rename the meeting room at the Fairview Library in honor of Annie Ager. So that meeting room at Fairview is now the Annie Clark Ager Community Room, and they were also able to celebrate Annie and her contributions as part of the culminating activity for the Fairview Library Oral History Project. That happened last Saturday. There were more than 100 people there, and they had opportunities to celebrate Annie and all the good work that's going on in Fairview. So we're really proud of that effort. And here is link in the chat for that. A quick and exciting facility update that I'm really just can't wait to see what happens here. The West Asheville Library is next in line for a renovation. This will include some building and system needs that must be addressed, as well as interior work. There was an RFQ that went out recently. It's been reviewed and a firm has already been selected, and they had their first meeting with library leadership last week. So I don't know timeline yet for that, but it will involve a closure of some period of time because it's just as they told us, your money will go a lot farther and the timeline will be a lot better if you are able to close instead of trying to stay open and do it piecemeal. Oh, looks like Leanne's here. Hey, Leanne. All right, we have a quorum now.
Sorry about that, y'all.
That's okay. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks,
Um,
Lena.
So we're kind of in an odd spot because we have not been able to elect officers in many, many meetings. And I believe the most recently elected officer that we have with us right now is Leanne as vice chair. Um, so I hate to put you on the spot as soon as you join us, and I know you're not feeling great, to at least call the meeting to order officially.
Okay, again, my apologies, y'all.
That's okay.
Yes, I officially call this meeting to order.
And we can kind of tag team on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. I did look at it and I looked at the minutes
All right.
that Tammy sent. I mean, I read them.
Angelica, do you have anybody for public comment?
I do not see any connected callers,
Okay.
and that's how they would do that through the public input portal. And I don't see any current viewers on my dashboard. So I think right now we are a no for public comment.
Okay. We did already welcome our new members. So thank you again, Terry, for being here, our newest member. And I think the next thing we need to do is elect a new chair and vice chair. And we can take nominations directly from the floor, or volunteers if you'd like to self-nominate.
I nominate Leanne again. Having only met you a few times, I think you're doing great.
Thank you, Samantha.
To chair or vice chair, whatever would be your preference.
I feel like I'm not setting a very good example right now, but thank you for your faith.
I'll be glad to step in.
Thanks, David. So, Jason, do we need specific for people that are nominated? Do we need them to be nominated for specific positions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leanne, if you have a preference on yours, I'll just tag that one to mine.
Okay. Not really. And David, what about you? Do you have a preference?
It makes no difference to me.
Okay. I'd like to nominate Lena for a position. Lena.
Are you saying you would like to decline your nomination? Is
I'm
that
saying, how many positions are open? I'm sorry.
So we just need to do a chair and a vice chair.
Oh, a chair and a vice chair.
And I'd be
Okay.
happy to decline in favor of Lena.
I don't
Y'all,
think
I'm
that that's
sorry. I'm just
necessary.
kind of out of it.
It's okay, Leanne. I don't think that that's necessary, David. I would be happy, Leanne, if you are trying to step back a little bit, that I am happy to take the nomination. I would much prefer to do vice chair. I am a little stretched thin. I'm also on the PTO board at my kid's school this year.
Oh. I know what that's like. David, do
does that-
you use it and do it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Would you be interested in doing the chair if Lena's the vice chair?
I'm happy to do that if that's fine, or I'd be glad to be vice chair, but it doesn't matter. But I mean, you guys have been on the board longer and have more experience, but I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that experience translates exactly to my ability to remember Robert's rules. I do always just have them up on a screen next to me. I do.
Right.
I have a cheat.
So I think we're looking at I've been nominated. Thank you, Samantha, Lena, and David. So we're we need to make a decision, right? So David, when did you step on?
This is just my second meeting.
Okay. So what is there such a thing as doing like multiple co-chairs? Jason, is that a thing?
I believe it would have to be written into our bylaws.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm not sure that that's entirely necessary for this group.
Well, yeah.
As long as one of us is planning to be at the meeting, and it's not hard for me to do this. It's setting up my personal computer in my office. So yeah, my only concern is just that I am stretched a little thin because of the PTO board, but I do think I could handle vice chair. Leanne, you have been trying to get me to do this for a few years.
It's true. And
I will accept the nomination for vice chair, Leanne, and
okay.
you can take your step
Well,
back.
David, if you're comfortable being the chair, I'm totally fine with that. and we can exchange, well, you've got my email, but we can exchange, numbers if you have questions. And
Okay.
Samantha, thank you so much. I've also got quite a lot going on right now, but anyway, we're I feel like this board is very well support, there's people that know what they're doing and they're supportive of the libraries, and that's the important thing. No matter who is chair and vice chair and all that, we work together really well. And so should we put out there then, David, are you comfortable with that?
Like I say, I'm fine. I'm also fine with, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to take the chair
Okay.
or not. I mean, if you would prefer to stay in chair, that'd be fine. What is your desires?
I've got a few concerns right now with some things going on. I've still got a tarp on my roof from Helene, and
Oh, no.
I'm working on trying.
Right.
It's just a long story. Fighting with the insurance, and so that might get a little busier and with work and stuff. So I will respectfully hand it over to you with Lena as the vice chair, and be available to you all. How does
Okay.
that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
I think you need nominations and a vote.
So I nominate, well, let's see, I nominated Lena.
I think we have to do one at a time.
Yeah, as vice chair, and David's self-nominated. Can we say that as chair, Tammy?
Sure.
Okay. And
I'm looking it up right now. I'm just
thank you.
figuring it out. So I think, Leanne, now you can close the nominations.
We can close the nominations, and yes, and then we need to vote, right? Okay. So the nominations are closed. Do we vote, Tammy? Do we need to vote on each person, or do we vote on them both as a pair?
I think you have to vote on each office. So you just vote on the first one, David, and then you vote on Lena.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. We're just going to say yays and nays.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's the way we do it.
Do we, how many say yay for David to be the chair? I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not doing this by Robert's Rules of Order.
That's okay. You're doing fine.
Yay, for David as the chair. Okay. Lena, David. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Samantha. And any nays? Okay, and yays for Lena as the vice chair.
Yay.
And thank you. And any nays? Okay. We have new leadership. Thank you all.
Thank you, Leanne.
I'm sorry. I apologize again. I'm a little off my game, y'all.
That's okay. I believe the way we function is that the chair is like, David, you immediately assume your duties. So
Okay.
surprise.
Surprise.
And next up would be
Approval of next meeting?
Has to be, yeah.
Okay, so there was 2 sets of minutes. Are we approving both, or
Yeah, they
Yes.
both need to be approved.
Okay.
January and March.
January, March, submitted for approval. Do we have approval by the board? Any,
So move.
so moved? Second,
Oh,
looks-
second, yes, seconded.
second, okay, so call the question, everybody approved the board meetings, the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, minutes are approved. Director's report. Do
All
you want to
right.
continue?
Sure. So, mentioned our budget kickoff, Fairview Library Oral History Project, the West Asheville project. Don't have a timeline on that yet, but will likely involve some closure period so that they can work at the most cost efficient way forward and get that done as quickly as they can. But we're really excited. That is a heavily used library. It's a very important community resource there on that Haywood corridor in West Asheville. So grateful that funds are available to make that happen, and really looking forward to kind of breathing some new life into that building. Has not really had much attention on the interior since it opened. So it's time for new furniture and rethinking the interior layout. And the staff will have some other ideas as well, how to make it a more functional space for everybody. On the program front, I think I mentioned at our last meeting that we were getting ready to kick off a partnership with the local NC Works office. That has started and has been a success, so it will now continue through the end of the year. We had the local NC Works office manager at Pack Library today and have now got branches signed up throughout October, November, and December. This is directly in line with the type of work that we're moving toward in support of the county's new strategic plan, which is in development. And one of those focus areas that the library will be involved in is supporting job seekers, small business, entrepreneurship, etc. Specifically, we'll be looking to connect library patrons and track the number of people that we connect with small business resources. So maintaining strong connections with local NC Works and making sure that we have a kind of a multi-pronged approach, being able to support job seekers in particular, is something that we feel really good about. It's also one of those ways that expands our reach into things where we might not have the staffing capacity right now to sit down and help somebody create a resume from scratch, or to go through the entire process of submitting an online job application, which can be daunting, but the NC Works office staff can do that. So we're grateful to their assistance as well. We're also in the early planning stages of One Book, One Bunkum for 2026. I have unofficial commitments from the Trust Board and the Friends of the Library, as well as some dedicated internal library programming funds from our county provided budget. So we will get that team convened and start working on our selection criteria. Don't have a date for that yet, but it will be sometime in 2026. And that was one of our biggest impact programs that happened pre-Helene. So we are really glad that we're able to bring that back for the community. There will be multiple opportunities for people to engage. So stay tuned for lots more info about One Book, One Bunkum in 2026. On the staffing front, since I mentioned West Asheville, I'll tell you about a transition that's occurred there. So the current branch manager is Erin Parcells. She has accepted a new role and a promotion to be the library services manager, and she oversees Pack Library as well as serves as a member of the library administrative team. So under her portfolio of departments at Pack, she manages Pack Adult Services. She manages the supervisors of Pack Youth Services, the Preschool Outreach Program, and Buncombe County Special Collections. Erin was a recipient of the Trust Fund for Buncombe County Public Library's Higher Education Grant, which allowed her to complete her MLIS, and she did a specialized program with a focus on public library social work. So if you know a little bit about Pack Library and its unique role in the downtown environment, that is a place that sees people with a lot of different needs and struggles and important opportunities to connect with the wider network of social services and support. So Erin's expertise in that area is perfectly suited for this role. And I'm thrilled to have her on the admin team. I know the PAC staff is excited as well. She, several years back, had served as the adult program coordinator at PAC. So she has a keen awareness of the environment there and the types of opportunities that get people excited about coming to the downtown library location. With that, though, that means we have had a vacancy for the West Asheville branch manager, and we have made an external hire. That person will be relocating to the Asheville area and will start at the West Asheville branch in October, coming to us from Florida. And a few months back, we began a new project to collect stories of impact. And one of our commitments is that we would share these stories of impact with different stakeholder groups, including the Library Advisory Board. And I have two brief stories of impact that I want to share with you. I think they kind of represent different ends of the spectrum of the types of things that happen at the library. So the first one was very brief, but we're really proud of it. This happened at our East Asheville Library. A gentleman came in who did not feel comfortable with computers and he needed help completing an online job application. He visited several times over the course of 2 days, and so two staff members were able to provide him with computer instruction and troubleshooting as he logged into his email account, found the company's website that he was applying for, and eventually completed the application. He came back in the next week to let the staff know that he had gotten the job. So for us, that is just one solid check in the win mark. That's exactly the type of outcome that we look to. Thankful to the team at East Asheville Library for providing that support. This other story of impact is one that's just in the fun category. Also is from East Asheville Library. One of their patrons is friends with the person who invented Post-it notes. This is legit and verified. This is not like I invented Post-its. This is actually the person who invented the Post-it note. And a few summers ago they did a self-directed activity called Post-it Portraits, where patrons, most of whom were teens, but patrons could draw their self-portrait on a Post-it note, and they created a temporary gallery display there in the library lobby. A few of the entries they decided to frame, and those now hang in the entrance doors to the lobby. So the patron, who is friends with the person who invented Post-its, came in and was delighted by it and wound up reaching out to her Post-it inventor friend to share about the creativity that was happening in the library. He was really touched, so he took a selfie and drew his own Post-it portrait and mailed it to the patron. And in the end of July, she came in, spoke with the branch manager, brought the picture in and the Post-it self-portrait, and that unexpected engagement, finding out that there was that unique connection through library experience, just really made the staff's day. The patron expressed how learning about the community art project had brought joy to the inventor, and it was just an example of the unique types of connections that you never know might happen because of a library program or library experience. So next time you visit the East Asheville Library, take a look right inside the lobby and you'll see some of the framed Post-it portraits. I have one other thing. It is not explicitly library related, but I'm putting this request out there and I'll put a link in the chat. There is a proposed plan called Envision Buncombe, a path forward. This is a plan that has been in the works since shortly after Helene. So it is Helene's roadmap for our Helene recovery plan. It's got multiple projects that are designed to rebuild housing and repair infrastructure and restore natural resources, strengthen our disaster preparedness, ultimately support long-term community resilience. It's also an opportunity to provide feedback on the 2030 Buncombe County Strategic Plan that is in the works. So this is open right now for community input through early October. I was at a department head meeting this morning and they said that they would love to have some additional input from folks. So I'm dropping the link to that in the chat. If you have an opportunity in the near future to review it and possibly provide some feedback, please do, and know that all of that feedback gets carefully reviewed, and we are appreciative of any input you might have there. And that is it for my updates, odds, and ends.
Jason, I think you skipped something that everybody should know about. The end of summer reading celebration this year
Oh my
was
gosh.
awesome.
Thank you. I did
Um,
skip right over that unintentionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
From,
So,
from a user perspective, I went with my kids, so not as a board member, but as from a user perspective, several of the things that they had out there were very well loved, particularly the button maker. I literally have one right here, where they put out books that have been weeded and let us cut into them to make buttons out of. So I have the most amazing Calvin and Hobbes button.
yes, you do.
And my kids, I think, made like 10 of them, honestly.
So in the past few years, we have done a summer learning, summer reading kickoff party. This time we did an end of summer party, and it was held at the Oakley Library in the park there behind the library. So with its all new playground and its lovely wooded lot and pavilion area. Um, Weather was great. The rain held off until the last 5 minutes, I think. We had various community partners there. Literacy Together was there with information about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library and some of their other resources. The turnout was great. There were, in addition to the button making and some other crafts, there was an animal presentation. There was a breakdancing class. I checked in on the library staff upstairs because the Oakley Library was as open as usual, and I think they'd seen like a record door count for number of people coming in since the festival started. So it was really a great way to celebrate the end of our summer learning program, and all of our youth services librarians across the system worked so hard for that. That's a highlight for patrons and families, and it's a highlight for staff as well. So we were thrilled with the turnout, and thank you for mentioning that, Lena.
I do also want to say thank you as an Oakley community member for doing it at the Oakley branch, not just because it's close to home, but I think with the new playground, a lot of people don't realize just how cool that area is now. You can walk from the library to the playground at the school. There's a baseball field, there's tennis courts, and it's all just sort of hidden back there sometimes. And if you don't know it's there, it's easy to miss. And so I know why we did it at the East Asheville branch a few times, but I was pleased to bring it back to one of our less beautiful library branches, but one that still has a lot to offer.
And we got great feedback from staff and participants about the location there. Lots of shade,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And a playground.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
saw
like,
Lena there.
your kids get tired of something, just go over to the playground. There you go. It's great. Yeah, we did see each other.
Yeah, I saw Lena making buttons, and I thought she was there as a volunteer. She's like, "Nope, I'm just here with my kids." So thank you for coming out. All right, now I'm done. Thank you again, Lena, for mentioning that.
So do we have any new business?
I have a question that may be new business. It may fall in that category. What's the status? Is that later? I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda up in front of me. The budget situation.
So, current fiscal year budget, it is pretty much a flat budget for us, which I think is a success considering what we've been through. We're continuing to kind of feel the ripple effects of the long-term hiring freeze because we have filled many of our vacancies with internal candidates, which has just kind of moved the vacancies around. So we are actively hiring. There are positions open, working through that process right now. We're just not yet fully staffed again. But we're back to purchasing books and materials at the same level as we were pre-Helene. Ordering is back to normal. Our program budget is back to where it was at. So we're in really good shape there.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any other new business or?
I have a question. I don't know that it's new business, just a random question. Do we do any kind of end of the year gathering for like the board, trustees, volunteers, staff of the library?
Not that I know of. I mean, the various Friends of the Library groups will sometimes do annual meetings, but we have not had anything like that with the board and staff.
Actually, that's a good idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking like it was fun to see everyone at the or like the trustees at the training that we went to. And I thought maybe a end of the year thing, if we don't already do one, to like group all of those people together across the branches could be a fun little thing to do if we have capacity.
I would suggest too that perhaps we include the trust board, because I know
Mhm.
one of the things they're working intentionally toward is connecting Friends, Library Advisory Board, and Trust Board, together into a network of advocates and supporters. So could be an opportunity there to do some type of end of year joint gathering with all three
Yeah.
group and staff.
That's a great idea.
I'll be meeting with Kay Wall tomorrow, and be glad to talk to her about that from the trust fund standpoint.
Yeah, and if they're interested, happy to
Yeah.
help in any way.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
We've had gatherings, Samantha, but it's been like when there's been a renovation or, something like that. And it's always nice to come together over that, but, just to have it for a end of year celebration, that's a great idea.
Anything else on the table? If not, is it time to adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move. I'm going to go eat some Tylenol.
All in favor, say aye.
I
I think we're adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank
and
you all.
Thanks for putting up with my tardiness, and
That's all right. We're glad to have you. We're glad we're here.
congrats to our new leaders. Appreciate you all stepping up.
Okie dokes.
Thanks, y'all, and bye.
Bye.